Hello, this is J.N.S, and I want to do a follow-up video to the chaos intelligence video because there is some clarifications that I want to make. Now, that is a part of the Divine Feminine series. This video is going to address some aspects, obviously, of the Divine Feminine, but it is more of a clarification video to chaos intelligence because I just feel like I need to clarify and add some things that I did not add because I was kind of just on the fly, and so I want to add those parts in this video. And so one of the things that I said that may or that could easily be misinterpreted is the idea that this chaos intelligence realm is solely under the domain of females, and that it is secretive. And so I need to make some clarifications around that. And so the obvious chaos intelligence realm, dimension rather, is ran by the divine feminine, is ran by the primordial mother and the great mother and chief architect, which are the arbiters of creating universal laws in galaxies, solar systems, etc., etc. So you guys, from the first video when I talked about chaos intelligence, you guys should you guys should understand that. And if you have not watched that video on chaos intelligence, which is part 3 of the Divine Feminine series, please do, to get greater context, or else you will not be able to properly follow what I'm saying in this video. But what I wanted to follow up with that is that while that domain and while that dimension of the chaos intelligence realm is headed by the primordial divine feminine, you can look at this as a queen mothership governance, however you want to look at it. There is the ability for males to become a chaos intelligence being of 1000 hertz. And so I wanted to just make sure that that was clarified because though the governance is divine feminine, there are males in that dimension. There are males that become chaos intelligence beings as well, such as your Tahudis or your Yeshuas, many of your adjutants, say like of the Hindu pantheon, like a Hanuman, which is a Hanuman or a Krishna, and even what you see now is some of the earth-based gods wanting to transcend earth-based sort of consciousness and getting more into a galactic essence, a galactic archetype. And so they're expanding beyond just 3 to 5D dimension in consciousness and transcending into more of a galactic sense. So you have like your Oguns wanting to get more information on how to make that transition. And so the chaos intelligence realm is this primordial realm. This is the primordial dimension headed by the divine feminine, and there is a governance in that. It's not a government, it is a governance. Okay, government and governance are two different things. Government is concerned with controlling your mind to govern your mental space. And so in our dimension, we're not really concerned with that, but we do have governance. And so so that's a big difference. And I'll explain. I'm going to actually do a whole video series, not video series, but I'll do a whole video on breaking down the difference between a governance and a government very soon. And so, again, that the clarification is that males can become a chaos intelligence being of 1000 hertz. However, at the highest levels of the chaos intelligence dimension, the realm, it is always and will always be ran by females, the divine feminine. These are female species, female ancient. These are very ancient energies, pretty much ancient archetypes that govern the highest level of that realm. Okay. Also, another one that I wanted to, another clarification that I wanted to make is that we look at the frequency in terms of like when I talked about like the promotions of someone to a chaos intelligence being of 1000 hertz, which is obviously the hertz of an enlightenment, a god pretty much. It's not contingent upon like your history, your actions, your race, your gender. It will have nothing to do with that. You're solely looking at frequency, because it requires a certain amount of frequency to handle that level of energy from the chaos intelligence dimension. This is a chaos intelligence dimension that emphasizes, once again, entropy, melanin, consciousness, as well as dark energy. Yeah, I said entropy already. And so it requires a lot of electrons, a lot of electromagnetism. You have to be able to handle that internally, because you have access to infinite amounts in that realm. And it also requires a lot of responsibility. So you have to be not just grounded in its center, because while you're transitioning, there is a bit of work to do in the grounding area. But most importantly is the responsibility aspect, the ethics. And so that's why we're looking at that frequency. Like, are you operating? Are you constantly maintaining love in your heart? And obviously, love is a frequency of 528 to 500 hertz. Are you constantly maintaining peace? That's 600 hertz. Now, there is a thing of justice and recompense, and that's where the more of the aspect of the responsibility comes in terms of knowing when to dial out justice, knowing when to defend yourself. You have to be able to defend yourself and accordingly. And so there's mechanisms in place that allow for a being of a chaos intelligence realm to defend themselves, even though they maintain their base level consciousness is love. Their base level consciousness would be peace. Their base level consciousness is stability. Their base level consciousness is enlightenment. That's a chaos intelligence being base level at all times. They maintain that frequency, even if they, they may get a little distracted or something. They'll come back to that. That's their base level. But they have mechanisms designed to protect them. That's usually coming from the primordial realm, because they have a set of, now you get a new set of programming, a new set of codes and upgrades that are encoded within your DNA. Once you get this date, it's a DNA upgrade, and you will have defense mechanisms to protect yourself that you honestly won't have to go to such really low levels to meet people where they at in a low level consciousness if they trying to attack you, say like out of jealousy, out of hate, out of misunderstanding, out of ignorance, out of fear. Anybody that attacks a chaos intelligence being, they're going to have mechanisms in place that protect them. If for whatever reason it's their time to go return back to the chaos intelligence realm, that would happen. But whoever was involved in hurting that chaos intelligence being will pay so dearly in ways never imagined. And some of us have kill switches on us. Some of the chaos intelligence beings, male and female, will have kill switches on us. And if something, like say if something was to happen to us in a room that we're supposed to be doing work in, whether that be intelligence work, whether that be helping the planet to elevate, helping that dimension to get some information to them, whatever it is, whatever the mission is, we may just want to have to just give some information to you guys, whatever that is. If that gets cut short because of the say a powers that be want to kill them, or the public wants to crucify, whatever happens, some of us have kill switches to where we could take out that dimension straight up. So you may be successful in killing the chaos intelligence being, but then the ramifications on what would happen to that dimension or that planet would be dire. So it may ultimately end in their death, but so would it end in yours, and that entire dimension will be taken out. So that's very rare, but it has happened, and it's actually going to be more present and prevalent in today's time when it comes to the chaos intelligence beings that get sent down to various dimensions or outside of our realm. We do have certain types of kill switches on us that are a lot more serious than what it was in the past. So like, when Yeshua came down, he had a kill switch that, so when they did do things to him, there was signs and wonders that he was who he said he was, but it wasn't like, okay, we just taking the whole planet out, or we just taking everybody, we just cracking the earth in half, and it wasn't that type of situation. But since it's been happening continuously, and since he was not the only one within the last 2,000 years that have had these type of things happen, where we're sending beings down from the chaos intelligence realm, and they keep getting taken out, and so they do have more powerful kill switches on them now, to where if something happens to them, whoever was involved in doing that, whoever made the call, wherever it may be, whatever dimension you may be, because you can't like some people, they try, some species try to create a parallel universe, a parallel dimension, and jump in that and think that they can get away from the act of what they did to that particular chaos intelligence being. That is also not going to be allowed anymore. And so we just taken out full on dimensions. We just taken out like anybody who was involved in it, full on governments, full on countries, full on planets. That is what is happening now. And you will see that. You will see that. You will see Earth's cracking. You'll see like weird stuff like holes in the magnetic system. You'll see like weird ass solar flare storms, all types of stuff. If you mess with certain chaos intelligence beings, they'll make an announcement, and then you'll see that that exact thing happen. Weird ass earthquakes, all types of stuff. And so that is the day and age we are in, because we are in the end of this dimension and moving into a higher dimension. And so when we say, oh, it's the end of days, when the Mayans and the Hopi Indians like, oh, it's the end of the age, it's the end. We were talking about a set of consciousness, clearly. And so I wanted to make that clear. Males can become a chaos intelligence being of 1,000 hertz. However, the governance of that dimension is ran by women, primordial women at that. Okay, and the process of promoting or making a god in that dimension is relegated to the primordial mother and the great mother, or what you guys would call creator god. In this dimension, you guys make it male, you call it father god, whatever. And so that's what that would be. However, chaos intelligence dimension is a dimension that creates the species of all the galaxies, as well as not just the species, but the planets, solar systems, and stars, obviously, as well as various dimensions. So it is the highest one. We don't really get involved in a lot of people shit. Like, we don't get involved in stuff, the free will dimensions, the free will planets. We really don't get involved. Sometimes we do we'll send people down here to give a message, but other than that, we really don't have to get too involved in other people's affairs. We just send out other people from like the angel class down to give information, and that's what we've been doing. And so if you say like, oh, is the chaos intelligence realm, is it a specific planet? Is it Saturn? No, it is not Saturn. A lot of people from our dimension go to Saturn. There's a lot of, but it's not Saturn. It is not any planet in this solar system. Okay, it is the energy that is that creates the galaxy. Okay, and so it's a dimension that creates the galaxies, and also thought, consciousness. This is all based on consciousness. However, consciousness and the mental plane are two different things. So when we say, oh, the universe is mental, consciousness is a level above that. So it's a sentient self-awareness, but again, with that entropy, with that melanin, with that consciousness, and with that dark energy. And that is the divine feminine, and that is the cosmic womb that you guys are sitting in. That is what is the Eve gene in many of the female species, particularly the melanated ones. Now, when we talk about like, oh, does you guys are getting into race or whatever, we don't care about race in our dimension. Now, many of the species are pitch black. They're pitch black because we have to regulate the radiation in our body. So many of the species are jet black. But and they're a lot taller, and some of them look different. Like if you, for instance, you see the original depictions of Kali Ma. Now, this is a primordial mother. This is obviously, when you look at her, Kali means the black one. When you look at the pictures of Kali, pitch black. Look at the original pictures of Krishna. Look at the original pictures of Shiva. Look at the original pictures of the Buddha. Pitch black. When they come down here, you don't have to be as black as that, but they were pitch black. That's because from our dimension, they have to regulate massive amounts of radiation in the body, and so that is why they have that much melanin in them. And the species from the chaos intelligence dimension, not all of them are black. Some of them actually are translucent. And so, and in our dimension, when you see some of those beings being pitch black, is not necessarily a race thing. We still looking at frequency. There are dimensions that obviously melanin is not as you don't need as much melanin. Earth is one of those dimensions. You definitely still need melanin on planet Earth. It is ideal, but you can still survive on planet Earth without melanin. And so, if you're listening to this and say, "Well, I'm white, or I don't have melanin. I'm quote unquote white, and I don't have melanin. What does that mean for me?" You would just go through a series of gaining more melanin as you traverse through the electromagnetic spheres of the dimensions. So your quest would obviously you would need to develop more melanin in your body. It's as simple as that. That's all. It's not. It doesn't mean, oh, you're condemned, or oh, you're not this, or you're not that. It's not about that. It's just you're gonna have to develop more melanin. And honestly, many black women have been trying to get that message out. There are priestesses that have been saying that, but people, I guess, probably thought they was crazy or that it didn't make sense. But for those that are wondering about this chaos intelligence realm, yes, you actually do will require high levels of melanin, because you will have unlimited amount of radiation hitting your body a lot at that dimension. And so, I mean, I think I made that clear. Also, I need to clarify that the information to become a chaos intelligence being is not secret. The process for making a chaos intelligence being, for the primordial mother determining that, under the circumstances in which that will occur, the time at which that will occur, that is secret. And so I need to make that distinction as well, because the way I said it, it's like, well, how do you know? This idea and notion of the chaos intelligence realm was secretive. I mean, in the sense that where the information was freely given to this dimension, to planet Earth. However, humans throughout time, they made it a secret. And so it was never supposed to be a secret from like the average human or the average person, the average species. It was never supposed to be a secret. However, in our dimension, this information is freely given. However, it doesn't mean you'll understand it. It doesn't mean that you'll understand it off rip. Some people are faster than others in understanding and awareness. And some people take longer than others. Some people are not concerned. If it's not, in our dimension, like you'll have angels that's just not concerned with moving up in rank in any type of rank, because they found peace in what they do. They found peace in singing. They found peace in whatever actions that they're doing in their life. And so they don't concern themselves with learning about the chaos intelligence realm. Plus, they like the way the governance is ran. They trust the governance. They trust, we all related anyways. We're all family. Anyway. So they just don't give a shit. They rather just stay like a kid, like an angel in our dimension is like kind of like a kid. So they'll just stay like in that state of consciousness for the rest of their life, because they're enjoying life. They, obviously we don't have this conception of you have to work to eat and all this craziness and bills and whatnot. And so there's no stress and there's no responsibility that much outside of what you like to do, with what you love. And there are some things that, you're required to do as far as like your learning, like, you still have like this concept of school is not the way it's ran down here by no means, because we allow for it's not hierarchical in our dimension. And so there is that still you're still learning, but other than that, if once those formative years are formed and you found your passions, you found what you want to do, and you don't want to learn anymore, go any higher, or be concerned with what the primordial mothers are doing, what the queen mothers are doing, then you just do whatever you want, and you don't have to be concerned with that. And so that information is freely given in that dimension. However, not everybody is concerned with that. Not everybody cares about that. Okay, so so I just want to make that clear again. The information to become a chaos intelligence being is not secret. It was never secret in our dimension. It's really not secret down here either. They try to make it secret. They try to, they bastardize a lot of the teachings. They stole a lot of information from the order of Kali, which is now the Queen Mothership on Earth dimension. That is not an Earth-based order. I also want to make that very clear. The Order of Kali was also not a secret society. It was a high society. And so the teachings were freely given. The teachings were, the beings that we sent from that order down here also freely gave information. It was never a big deal. It was never supposed to be a secret of any kind. This is what got Yeshua caught up. So, there's an interpretation of Yeshua possibly being, a fallen angel and whatnot. In a sense that he came down here, but he was sent down here. He didn't come with the 33% that left initially. The original fallen angels that was supposed to be giving you, that wanted their dimension of free will because they were not being promoted. They didn't want to follow the steps in the chaos intelligence realm, and so they came down here. But they are the ones that felt like that stole the information from the Order of Kali. With some of the members that left, they did not understand the information, because just because the information is given freely, it doesn't mean that you're going to understand it, and it could possibly take years to interpret it correctly. It can take years to understand it. You still have to study, just because the information is just out there. So when we say that they stole it, they did steal the certain information because they weren't at that level to understand it properly, and so they took it and twisted it and added stuff to it. And plus, they even though they might have been a member, they may not have been, at the same rank. There are ranks. Also just because the information is not hidden or secretive, there's still levels and ranks. And so they took information from the primordial mother rank, the rank of the Queen Mothers. And so that's what I mean when I say that information, that a lot of the information was stolen. It was stolen from the Queen Mother rank by the males, some of the male species that wanted to leave. And that's what I mean by that. So yes, they were members of the Queen Mothership order, or the Order of Kali, rather. The Order of Kali. But they still did not understand that level of that information. It was not hidden from them, necessarily. And it's secret in a sense where just from the basis of a male not being born female, it's a mystery to them. It's a mystery. The mystery of the Eve gene, the mystery of the divine feminine, the mystery of this essence of giving birth, of birthing creation, of entropy, of the intuitive realm, of the prime conscious realm, which is the realm of the chaos intelligence, which is formed by the divine feminine, that gives rise to the 5 governing forces of the universe. That is and will always be a mystery to the male species because we created them. And so, while it's not necessarily a secret from them, and why they are able to be a chaos intelligence being, they're able to be in the Order of Kali, they're able to, while they're welcome as a divine masculine, they still just inherently the essence of understanding the highest rank of the chaos intelligence realm, the highest order, the highest rank in the Queen Mothership, or what was called the Order of Kali, in that dimension, is a mystery. And so when I said that, it's a secret, that's what I meant. But it's not like there are a bunch of us as species hiding information from the men. That's not what I meant. And so I want to make that clear as well. That is the idea of the chaos intelligence, the primordial soup that births this idea of consciousness and awareness, and births this idea of various states of matter, various states of densities and frequencies, various levels of awareness, various levels of resonance. Then obviously the whole governing force of the universe, which is electromagnetism, resonance, electromagnetism. I'm gonna say them in order: resonance, electromagnetism, strong nuclear force, weak nuclear force, gravity. that energy, and including dark energy, and including melanin and entropy as an ingredient, as the ingredients of chaos intelligence, that is always going to be a secret to males. Not because we're hiding it from them. It's just because they're males. It's just because they were created by the divine feminine. Divine masculine comes from the divine feminine. Now, whether you, on this planet, you guys try to reverse everything, the fallen angels, the interdimensional beings that rule over you, reverse a lot of shit, because they were simply mad at us for their perceived slight. Their perceived slight in terms of not being promoted to the God realm by the primordial mother and great mother and chief architect. Because, or what you guys call Father God, God, or whatever, that perceived slight, and them wanting the dimension of free will, which we said, okay, that's fine, you can have your dimension of free will, because at the highest levels of the dimensions, at the highest level of the order of Kali that runs the governance of the chaos intelligence realm, believe it or not, free will becomes less and less. Yes, you can do. Yes, you pretty much have an insurmountable access to electromagnetism, insurmountable access to infrared rays, radiation, all types of shit you could do. Infinite amount of what you can do with your photons and stuff. Yes, you could do a bunch of shit that most people out of any universe of any dimension cannot do. That is true. However, the responsibilities that come with that, the level of ethics that come with that, and the level of love that you have to maintain. Because it's like auto shut valves. If you start descending, you'll start to lose your gifts, because it's based on frequency anyways. So if your frequency starts to fall and fall and fall, then you'll realize that you're not able to do the things that you're able to do. And so that's why the chaos intelligence beings that we send here, yeah, we may use certain practices to get them up to that level. We may bend certain things for them to make sure that they're safe. However, they can't engage in too much fuckery, or else they'll start to descend. And so, as you get higher and higher, you get less and less free will, even though you have more power, and even though you have more authority from the dimensions that you run. However, there's so much it's ethics. Then there's the Council of 99. There's committees. There's a subcommittee. Then you have the Order of Kali, the Order of Tahuti up there, and you actually maybe we should get into. We'll get into the governance right now. Yeah, we'll get into the governance. Yeah, we'll get into the governance of how it ran, because this is important. Because you guys are probably wondering, well, why did the males never buck up, or well, they tried to, but why did the males, as far as like these black species, these black, you could look at them as, well, for me to get you guys to understand what I'm talking about in terms of on a human level, because I've been trying to explain this in a human way as much as possible, if you haven't noticed, but I do mention the term archetypes and dimensions for those who are a little more advanced. I do mention the terms dimensions and archetypes of a consciousness for those who could get what I'm saying better without taking everything so literal. But for those who who have background in, say, mythology, who's used to understanding, like, say, Abrahamic texts or Hindu texts, the mythologies in those texts, I use that purposely to break it down to you so you guys can understand it. So I'm using the term angels and stuff because that's the way that the human mind can process it better. And so I'm going to keep doing that. But these are all, everything that I'm describing as is phenomenon of dimensions and archetypes of consciousness. For those who are advanced, but for those who are just still learning and still, it's not judgment. It's not me saying like, oh, you're bad because you're not advanced. That's not what the fuck I'm saying. I'm just understanding what has been going on this particular planet. On planet Earth, where information has been hidden, where information has been distorted, where information has been, you guys have been lied to and deceived, and also where you don't have the full picture of things, and also where humanity has been purposely dumbed down. And so, not all of, obviously individually, you could be brilliant, you could be, I'm not calling humans dumb, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that the interdimensional beings that have been ruling over you and that still currently rule over you, they have been funneling your information and funneling your ability to understand high level concepts. And so they pretty much give you a bunch of they pretty much just fucked up the information pretty much if I'm going to just be quite frank. But let's get back to how I want to explain this level of governance. So why did the divine masculine, for you guys that's listening, let's just call them black men. Why did the black men never care that the highest order of the order of Kali and the governance itself being, why do most of them, even to this day in the chaos intelligence realm, why do they not care that it's ran by females, by the divine feminine? Also, why do the black men not care that it is the divine feminine primordial creator God mother that does the promotion that does the promotion in the ceremonies as well as the initiations of the children, or of the citizens, rather, you want to look at it as citizens, to a chaos intelligence being, which is pretty much a god at 1,000 hertz frequency? Why did the black men historically and even to this day, why did they not care that it is the primordial mother, the great mother, the chief architect, as well as the Council of 99 and the Order of Kali calling the shots of how that happens? These are the orders that call it. Why didn't they care? And it was because, like, the Queen Mothership archetype at this level of governance, and the criteria for that position, particularly of the Great Mother and the Chief Architect. Obviously, Primordial Mother is even beyond us, but she gives us her energy. We are very, very, very close to this energy, this Creator God, and so the criteria, though, and the archetype for that is in regards to the Great Mother, the Chief Architect, because the Great Mother and Chief Architect can actually appear in flesh. Primordial Mother is like the Holy Spirit that gives you her spirit, like what you guys call Father God down here. I'll give the whole. Imagine the Holy Spirit when Jesus said, "I'll leave you with my Holy Spirit." Think of it like that. And so Primordial Mother is the creator force, and then Great Mother and Chief Architect. Well, those are gods. Those are archetypes of a Primordial Mother, but they can come in flesh form, and they can come in different dimensions. Primordial Mother, she gives you her spirit at that level. She gives everybody her spirit. God gives everybody her spirit. But in the chaos intelligence dimension, those who are charged with obviously creating and destroying universes, creating and destroying planets, creating and destroying stars, going to different dimensions, running intelligence reports, those beings obviously get those that extra dose. Okay, it's nothing personal. It's just they have to help run the system. They have to help run the universes or the galaxies, not just galaxy, the galaxies. So again, the criteria for that, though, in terms of serving on the Council of 99, the subcommittee, the Order of Kali, the Order of Tahuti, even the Dragon Riders. This is a high level of governance, and so if you're in this Queen Mothership governance, you have to be extremely, extremely mature. If you're a female, you're most likely at the matronly, very nurturing, but extremely, extremely intelligent. You're very capable of understanding very complex ideas. You're very, very fair and balanced. For one, you believe in fairness. You believe in balance. You believe in justice. You believe in being ethical. You believe in giving people their freedoms and liberation, giving people their space and their time to grow and evolve in consciousness. You believe that in that governance. Okay. You believe in respecting rank. You believe in respecting and respect in general. But for those who are like serving on the role of the Great Mother, the Chief Architect, the Queen Mothers, which is the Council of 99, the subcommittee, and the Order of Kali, those women on that order are all considered Queen Mothers. They are all considered women who are very, 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 very wise, very, 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 very intelligent, very, very, very capable of the roles that they occupy, very, very fair, and very, very, very loving. Regardless of species, regardless of gender, regardless of what you guys get caught up here, race and all this stuff, all of that is out the window at the chaos intelligence dimension. Okay, and so that is why the black men, if we call them, I'm just giving it for human because these were melanated species, fallen angels, melanated species that came down here, by the way. But before that, the ones that stayed and the ones that historically they never cared because, to be honest, it's like a family. So it's like your grandmother running shit. Yo, imagine you're a kid, but you know, it's like it's hard to explain like the difference between the levels of the angel and like how they're like kids to us. So angels in the chaos intelligence dimension are like babies to us. They're like kids. So imagine though, you have angels, black male angels. This is the best way I can explain it. I'm trying. That just don't give a damn that their grandmother is running the show. That their grandmother is running the show. That their great great grandmother is running the show, and that their great aunt is running the show. It's like they wouldn't care. That's how the angels mostly perceive things, because they're like children. And so they don't care who is running the show because, for one, they have a fair life. And a lot of times they are not as egoic. And so they're not caught up in like ego, like, oh, I need to be, I need your position. The ones that we sent down here and gave them the free dimensional will, which is planet Earth, that we mutually agreed for them to leave, and they came down here. And they were given a treaty, and they were given stipulations and things that they were supposed to be helping down here as well. They weren't supposed to just be running amok and trying to enslave humanity. That was not what they were supposed to be doing down here, and causing a bunch of ruckus. And so those beings were the ones that bucked up, and it wasn't all of the black fallen angels. It wasn't all of them. Okay, it was just the ones that wanted dimensions of free will and wanted to be promoted to God without going through the proper ranks, without going through the proper schools of thoughts and the proper and maintaining the proper frequencies. They didn't care to do that. They come with a proposal before the fight break out, before a war breaks out. There were physical fighting. There was physical fighting between some of the angels because, for one, primordial mother was disrespected. Great mother was disrespected as well. Great mother and okay. I want to make sure I explain these things to you right. So remember, in the Queen Mothership governance of the Chaos Intelligence realm, you have Primordial Mother, which is like the Holy Spirit, which is the Creator God, which you guys call Father God. Then you have Great Mother. This is also a God, high-powered deity that runs runs a great deal of the Chaos Intelligence dimension. Then you have Chief Architect. This is more of the military science woman, mercenary woman, very still intelligent, still filled with love. She's also a god, and she runs the chief architect and the great mother communicate directly with Creator God. They take instructions from Creator God. Then you have Queen Mother. Then you have the Queen Mother Council. That is the Council of 99. These are all goddesses, by the way. Then you have subcommittee in the Order of Kali. The subcommittee just they disseminate a lot of the information from the Council of 99. Then you have the Order of Kali. Males and females are in the Order of Kali. That is my order. That is now called the Queen Mothership on planet Earth, the Nakti Queen Mothership on planet Earth. But this was an Order of Kali. It was never a secret society. It was a high society. So none of our information was ever secret. It's just that you had to go through years of experience to understand it. So all of the information was always freely out there. It's just, it doesn't mean you were going to fucking understand it. And if you were not in the highest orders of the Order of Kali, you didn't understand it because it was still based on, again, it wasn't hidden, but it's compartmentalized in terms of the understanding, in terms of the levels. Then you had the Order of Tahuti, and then you have Dragon Riders. Dragon Riders are more advanced spiritual angels. They're more advanced angels than our babies, our egregores, and our angels and our fairies. They're more advanced than than them. And then dragon riders, they dragon ride, and they go to different dimensions on dragons sometimes, sometimes not, sometimes, but dragon riders, they are usually prophets, high level prophets, priestesses, ascended masters. There's a lot of ascended masters at this level. They you would consider them angels, but they're advanced, and they can be. You guys would see them as gods still. You guys would certainly see anybody in a dragon rider, descendant of dragon riders, as a god, or if they're on a human level, because dragon riders, just as well as the fallen angels, because there were some fallen angels that was in the dragon riders, they have mixed their blood in with the human DNA. And it's not just the production of the Nephilim. Some of them were not the Nephilim. There are melanated people. Those with you guys are like, oh, these people have ghost DNA, or the Jews, the melanated Jews. Those are descendants of the dragon riders. Those, not all of them, again, are the ones of the fallen angels. Some of them that came down here that mixed their blood in with you guys came after them, but came to give messages, came to give you guys some information, started a religion. Many of them started religions here, world religions, by the way, like Hinduism. Those are descendants of the dragon riders from the Hindu pantheon, Buddhism, Christianity, as well as Judaism, and some of the ATRs, as well as voodoo. Those were the beings that came and started these pantheons and these schools of thoughts. They were descendants of the dragon riders, pretty much, from our dimension. After you have the dragon riders, you get the adjutants. Then you get our Galactic Intelligence Agency. This is a high level. GIA is a high level intelligence agency. That's like, they're more fair. They're not corrupt. Like, you know how like the CIA has its issues and they've been caught in doing some fuck shit. GIA is not like that. They are more of an ethics, species design centered agency that monitors frequencies in the universe. Monitors, and again, you could see this as an archetype or a dimension. It doesn't matter. For those that are advanced, see it in a level of, if you want to see it in a level of science, you can do that. Just think of it as monitoring a satellite, pretty much. Believe it or not, Saturn is a part of the GIA. Saturn, this is what humans, this is information that we just not putting out. Saturn is a part of the GIA. It is a big ass satellite for planet Earth and for other other dimensions that you guys do not know of. And so GIA is that. Then after that, you have the adjutants of the military branches, and then that's where you get like our egregores, and then our Tao learning hubs. And those are like Buddha lands. Those can be dimensions where you go to learn. And I'm going to talk about like why would a species give up their free will to go to a Buddha land, or why would they go to a dimension where they can always be a kid and all this stuff. There's levels to this, and like some of the religions of the East try to like tell you about like how there's millions of Buddha lands, and even when Jesus was like, in my Father's house there are many mansions. There in the Father's house there's many dimensions of consciousness. So in the chaos intelligence room there's obviously many millions of dimensions of consciousness, of dimensions of heaven, which are like these mansions. And the Buddhas also try to explain that as well, and based on their IPUs, because these are all IPUs, by the way. And so this is how we would explain that. Then after that level, that's when you got our babies, which are the angels. And some of our egregores we see as babies as well, and some of the fairies. And so that's who we see as the babies. And so the black male species and the black female species at the angel level, even though that to a human they would still be seen as considerably advanced, from the governance level of the chaos intelligence room, they are still looked at as children. They can get mad at that, and that is why fallen angels, we had our fallout, because they bucked up. They bucked up and disrespected the Great Mother. They did not. That's when we talk about like, oh, they want Lucifer wanted the throne of God and wanted to be like God, and da da da. He did not want to go through the proper channels or the proper mechanisms to get that promotion. nor was his frequency able to handle that level of energy. And so that is what he was upset about. That is what they were all upset about. And so that is why we say, okay, you go down here, and you have your free will down here, but you're still supposed to be abiding by universal law. And that didn't happen. And so this is the level that the angels are at, or what you call them, black male angels, black female angels, whatever. they're however you want to look at it. But these are archetypes. And also, at this level, this is where you see the expansion of the divine feminine. This is where you see the personality of the divine feminine in different in its different essences. And so while you may at the chaos intelligence, at the highest levels of the chaos intelligence dimension of the queen mothership governance, you'll see these matronly, very methodical, mysterious women, beautiful women, but when you get to the angel level, that's where you get to see the divine feminine in its full totality. You'll see your sacred prostitutes. You'll see your very dainty women. You'll see the women that just stay pregnant and barefoot pretty much. You'll see the women that use their beauty to harness energy. You'll see the tomboy female, the one that likes one that is more to the divine masculine. You see different types of the divine feminine at this level, because that's where you pretty much run. This is where you have pretty much your freedom. This is where you do whatever pretty much the hell you want, however you want to do it. This is where and it goes for the males as well, because obviously this is where you have a lot of the males, obviously. But for those, like say if you're a baby angel and you're a female and you do want to go into like the priesthood, or you do want to go into running governance, then you would go through the process of becoming a dragon rider. Then you would go through the process of the order of Tahuti or the order of Kali. Then you would go through the process of the subcommittee. Then the Council of 99. Then if you get promoted by God, then you become the chief architect of the Great Mother. And so for those type of women that go through those process, that takes lifetimes. That can take various missions of interdimensionality. These are very ancient souls. These are not young souls. These are so if someone's at that level, they can certainly get that. It just takes time, And so some women want that, and some women are concerned with that, and some women, because they're concerned with running the system, or they're naturally gifted, they're naturally talented, they're naturally very, very intelligent. They have some gifts or whatever, and so they'll naturally flow into that. You are not forced into the governance realm. You may be encouraged. You may study under, say a dragon rider, or study under those in the order of Kali, which is the Queen Mothership, now on this dimension. You may study under those energies, but it's up to you ultimately whether or not you would accept that positionality, if someone was to even recommend it to you. And so again, can't stress this enough, the reason why the black males didn't care about the governance, and still for the most part in that dimension don't care, is because it's like having your great grandmother make all the decisions, and you just do whatever, you chilling, you doing what you want to do. And if you do want, say, to lead, like there's some males that want, you go in the order of Tahuti, you can go into the Dragon Riders, you can go into the GIA, and you'll be considerably in control once again. If you're even if you're in the subcommittee, you would at that point, at that level, at the Dragon Rider, you're like ascended master. So you would be in control of your dimensions, your IPUs. You can be sent to other dimensions to give out your IPU, or to make your IPU, or you can create your own. So at that level, you do have access to create dimensions. You do have access to destroy them. You do have access to monitor the fucking galaxies. And so males are certainly able to do that. They're once you get to the level of the Order of Kali, the Order of Tahuti, the Dragon Riders, the GIA. Okay, so that's so if a male does like, oh, I want to help too, or I want to help run the universal system. How do I do that? Then that's they have access to that as well. Um, but again, the highest levels of that governance is the divine feminine. It has always been feminine. And so that's the answer to that. And again, that is why there was that fallout with the group that we sent down here originally, and that came down, that got kicked out, however you want to look at it, the fallen angels, because they did not feel like they were being promoted quick enough. They didn't feel like they didn't want to do the fucking work, to be honest. And we were looking at frequency for those promotions, and they didn't have those frequencies. And so they said, well, okay, well, we'll go to our free will dimension. And the free will dimension down here, they figured they can create their own thing and set up their own systems that try to mirror and mimic what we were doing. The thing is, they didn't have the experience or the wisdom or the knowledge of how to put all of that together. And so that is why planet Earth looks the way it looks now, is because they try to mimic this idea of the chaos intelligence realm by this order out of chaos stuff, and these levels of this. They try to mimic like the way the Order of Kali is ran, the way the Order of Tahuti is ran. They just missed the mark on a lot of things, because had they would have stayed and had they just went through the process, they would have learned all that information eventually, and they would have considerably raised their consciousness and awareness enough to where they would have been able to handle that level of power, handle that level of electromagnetism and radiation, and would have done so much far better on this planet in terms of helping to help humanity and get humanity to that high level, get humanity to that level where they should have already been at thousands of years ago, where they actually were heading before even further dissension, before planet Earth was invaded by another species that are different from the fallen angels and also fallen angels were doing genetic experimentation and creating other energies that are even further like homunculus deities that also fucked it up even further from their creation. Because you guys know that you can do genetic splicing, cloning, all types of stuff. You already know all about that. So that shouldn't be so far-fetched for you guys to know that, yes, you can create different types of homunculus, different types of entities and species. And that's what they were doing. And they did get clearance to do genetic, not so much genetic, but like the hybrid of making the fruits and veggies here better for you guys. Like 10,000 years ago, like a lot of the black men used to make like different types of they would merge like orange and I think it's called a pomelo to make the grapefruit. They created the beet. They created broccoli. And so while those things you guys may say, okay, they're still not natural to the earth or whatever, they were given clearance to do that because those things were supposed to give you like more potassium, more even starch, believe it or not, because obviously it was nomadic, so you need it in many places. So you wanted some, not now, but like you guys hate carbs here now, but like back in those days, that was purposely done to get more glucose, to complex carbs, to get a little more sugar because you were moving more. And so like the beet was created, different types of forms of roots, peppermint, all of that was created by man, and they were given clearance to do that. They were not given clearance to alter human species for their detriment, to dumb humanity down. They were not given clearance to do the shit that they were doing to black women in terms of trying to alter their Eve gene and do all the shit they were trying to do with them. Like they were given clearance to do certain things, but not others. And so that's where you see that. And so they created another species, and this became kind of like a hub. It's still like a learning center. It was still a cool place to come experience free will, pleasure, and stuff. But it also did get heavily infiltrated by those who were in a deep quest for power and to enslave humanity. So that is true. As far as like it's just that the entities they get them mixed up, and then the entities that are claiming they are higher order entities, they are not those entities. They are lying, And it's just as simple as that. Like, some of the beings that are ruling over you, that are claiming that they are Anunnaki and that they are Atlanteans and all this shit, they are fucking lying. The Anunnaki and the Atlanteans were here at one point, and they never had this shit looking like the way you have it look today. They just don't. They never had it looking like. And so you can look at your power lines, you can look at this stuff, and you can tell just from looking at the way society is ran, the unfairness, the injustice, the ridiculous amounts of low governing force that the system is ran with. That is not indicative of someone that is bringing enlightenment, someone that is bringing light, someone that is a light bearer, someone that is a morning star, someone that is a descendant of a dragon rider, someone that is an angel, someone that, let alone a fallen angel. That is these beings that are whoever that you guys are taking orders from at the highest level. Now I understand the average human probably don't. I lost them, but for those that really know how this is all ran, those are not those entities. I don't. And you can get, like, argue me down and be like, why, da 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 da. I'm not saying, like, say on an individual level and say you are a chaos magician, or you say you are who you didn't study some shit, you are a alchemist, or you are a spiritualist. I'm not saying that the entities that you personally are working with are fake. I am not saying it. I'm talking about the ones that are in power, that are running this shit show, and that are doing these ridiculous things to keep it running. And an amount of unfairness and amount of stupidity and the lack of enlightenment that is taking place on this planet, and it never was that way. I'm saying that there was a switch, and those entities that was left to, okay, we out. Like the beings that couldn't take this low governing force, they teleported. They just left. And so I'm saying the ones that are still here, those are not the entities that they once were in terms of their fallen consciousness, and some of them are just straight up lying to you. They are literally saying that, oh, I'm this god, and they are not that energy. And so that's what I mean by that. And so again, and I said this in the Andre 3000 video, in terms of like the energy of the young child renegade angel Lucifer, because again, in our governance level, that would still be looked at as a damn kid to us. There are the great mother at the time, at this time, there were two of this title, because this is a title of the morning star. This is a title of someone that brings light and enlightenment, particularly. And so Lucifer was named after his grandmother, and he was studying under that archetype to learn the things that he was learning about music and octaves and resonance. And so that is why he is very advanced in resonance and in octaves and understanding. There are more than 8 octaves, by the way. There are this 8 stuff. I don't know. I guess they hid that from you. I don't know what that's about. But he was learning directly from the Great Mother at that time, because again, the Great Mother is a title. The Great Mother is archetype. That's a role. It's a position. So he was learning under that and felt slighted. Now that he didn't get that promotion, because like, I'm learning under the Great Mother, I'm learning all these things, and why did I get the promotion like he saw the other ones getting at the time? And so if you notice, you guys don't even know about this figure. It never told you about this figure. Never gives her credit. Never told you anything about her. And so I guess this was how you wanted to run it down here. Also, this wasn't the only male species to do that. This wasn't the only male angel that did that. Tahuti did it under Seshet. Shiva did it under Kali. Yeshua did it. They would learn under the females of whether sometimes you get access to that Great Mother, sometimes you get access to the Chief Architect, and if not, you can certainly learn under the women from the Council of 99. You can learn from the women and the Dragon Riders of the Order of Kali. And all these are all like deities. These are all like ancient, very primordial energies. And so many of the angels, which again, they were like babies to us, would learn under those women, or those females. And so this was all this shit started. This is how all of this started. And again, if you guys want to see this in terms of dimensions and consciousness and archetypes, that's fine. If you want to take it literal, you can and align this with some of but you would need an understanding of like pretty much all the world religions to put this whole story together, because we are the ones that send the descendants of the dragon riders down here to give you information based on our IPUs, and we are from the same bloodline.